Far Cry 4 comes at a time when audiences demand new experiences. Endless sequels and remasters seem to attract more anguish and hate over excitement and optimism, so when Far Cry 4 initially looks to be a lot like its surprisingly successful predecessor, it doesn't exactly stir up much excitement. More of the same can be a bad thing, but is that the case for Far Cry 4? Let's find out here in this review of Far Cry 4.
You and I are gonna tear shit up!
It's totally true. Far Cry 4 is remarkably similar to Far Cry 3. It's a lot like Skyrim with guns. I mean, Far Cry 3 in a different setting. There's a mentally unstable villain in a gorgeous tropical open world that offers a huge playground full of activities that revolve around hunting, shooting, and sneaking. The Venn diagram of both games is almost just one circle, and more so the further you progress. But that progression comes hand in hand with realizing the little noteworthy changes, along with seeing how much this formula still works. Everything is tied to each other and has a purpose. Hunting the unpredictable wildlife feeds into the well-established and more streamlined crafting system. The crafting system is a branch of the upgrade system. Upgrading requires some skill points and beating certain side missions, which gives incentive to finish the wide array of optional tasks. The core gameplay systems are exercised well in all of these missions, along with having the unique narrative justification that makes actual sense. And you'll also unlock more guns with every completed side objective, as if there wasn't enough reasons to do all of the things. The vicious cycle of doing and upgrading is almost the sole reason of why Far Cry 4 is so addictive. I don't like to toss around the word addictive. It's not like I'm selling my belongings to get one more hit of Far Cry 4, but all of these systems make it easy to get grabbed by the need to upgrade everything. Few games can tap that urge, and Far Cry 4 knows how to manipulate its systems to set off this response flawlessly. The economics of upgrading are wrapped up within Far Cry's open gameplay systems. Most situations call for a refreshing amount of player choice, but the two most defined routes are stealth and loud gunplay. Once you pick your customized firearm for your playstyle and upgrade accordingly, you can use the environment and nearby wildlife to augment your planned or impromptu strategy. Or you can just sit back and admire how the AI interacts with each other without any of your influence, because there's plenty of that at every turn and it's always awesome/hilarious. But usually you'll sneak. Stealth is satisfying, not only because of the liberating freeform approach, but also because it is neither too slow nor is it punishingly difficult. As long as you take your time and think a step ahead, you'll be sneakier than a snake in the grass. If you get impatient, you'll be pushed into a state of loud gunplay, which is where the gun handling gets to shine. A literal armory of guns is available to freely switch between and customize, essentially allowing choice to more of how loud encounters play out. Outside of the still present annoying delay on healing, the core act of pulling the trigger feels great. But seeing the openness translate well to fairly normal gunplay doesn't let these adrenaline-fueled encounters grow stale. Missions, be it side or main line, also do a remarkable job of exercising both gameplay pillars by giving the player different yet engaging playgrounds that easily facilitate any style of play. Taking Outposts embodies this core essence, but it's great to see the rest of the game adopt this sandbox mindset. The story has a fair bit of openness as well. AJ Gale, or Ajay Gale if you're a local, gets whisked back to his home country of Kyrat to dump his mother's ashes in her native land. You are greeted by the leader of this country and family friend Pagan Min, and he quickly shows his mental stability as you witness him murder a man with only a pen and a short temper. His iron-fisted rule has kick-started a revolution, one you'll involuntarily get thrusted into. Pagan is the center of the story, but at the same time, he isn't. Most of the time is spent trying to take the country back from him through tangential tasks, of which he vents his complaints via radio as you slowly topple his regime. The story does benefit from his amazing performance, but is strong enough to stand on its own merits because of the drama and extremely clever writing that shine during interactions. AJ is a strong everyman, but the secondary characters show plenty of personality, be it goofy, serious, or inspirational, through their conviction and well-animated bodies and faces, making them easy people to invest in. This, in turn, makes it that much harder to choose sides. Leaders of the rebellion often call for your vote to break the tie, meaning that you'll need to pick sides when debates get heated. It's never good versus evil, but more of whose method you most agree with in achieving certain goals. Branching paths splinter from your decisions and give you more than a few moments of player agency within the story. Choice is gratifying during gameplay and equally as so within the narrative. Outside of the story, Far Cry 4 also has co-op and competitive multiplayer, but for better or for worse, each can be summed up in one sentence. Taking over compounds translates well with another person and doesn't need any sort of extra co-op gimmicks to make it better. The asymmetrical multiplayer, however, is about as superfluous as you can get, even if there's a tiny glint of potential hidden underneath all of the tedium of long sprints and quick deaths. Neither are necessary, and only one of them is a pleasant experience. Far Cry 4 almost gets away with more than it should. At a glance, it looks like it directly lifts the strengths from Far Cry 3 and relocates it to another part of the world. However, calling it an expansion pack would be an extremely reductive and frankly rude way to ignore all the successes and minor tweaks to the formula. Exploring the beautiful open world, upgrading, and crafting various stealthy or shootery strategies is at the heart of each Far Cry game, of which Far Cry 4 builds off of and expands upon. This does make Far Cry 4 quite similar to its predecessors, but it also means that it is the most fulfilling, most impressive, and strongest entry within the series. Far Cry 4 gets a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and if I would have played this a couple weeks ago to make my 2014 list, this would have easily been 1, 2, or 3. But thanks again for watching, and goodbye.
Well, we tried the carrot. Guess he wants the stick then.
Hey, what the